He's also a familiar face to Fox viewers, criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool.
Well, I was sitting in the front row. I heard some pops. I thought it was fireworks. I looked up. I didn't see anything in the sky, so I got worried, saying to myself, what's it going to feel like to get hit by a bullet? So I was just praying, but I thought I was going to die right there laying on the stairs. I mean, I was going through a lot. I was like, should I... Why should they die? Because they're a lot younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, I've lived a decent life. I'm middle-aged. These are young girls. So I literally was like, I think subconsciously I was like standing in front of them, like trying to protect them, you know? Because then I'm thinking we're going to die like the Orlando shooting, you know, the people in the bathroom. So I didn't want to die like that.
There's no way I would have ever believed that people were dying or dead already, that's what I was looking at. But now that I know what I was looking at, that's the part that I can't quite get over, is that what I was looking at in the whole front, there's the stage, a whole mass of bodies just on the ground. And then people, not a lot, but it was not a full concert. It was not 22,000 people anymore. A mass of bodies and just people running.
How's Kristen doing?
She's going to be fine. She has a collapsed lung. She was hit near her right shoulder, but she's going to make a full recovery, the doctor told me. We heard what sounded like fireworks going off, but it kept going and going and going.
I couldn't believe at the time that was a gun, and I didn't want to.
Her word, she got hit by a water balloon. That's how she described the experience. But when she started coughing up blood, I kind of realized that she'd been hit and she probably had a collapsed lung. We actually hopped that fence right there near the Nashville stage, which is set up behind us.
Started running towards the back, and I realized I couldn't breathe.
First responders were there when we hopped the fence, and this was within minutes. Metro did an excellent job getting there as fast as possible. So we actually went to a hotel right up here up the street, and we checked her again and found the wound. And a good Samaritan, who is a concert goer, she's also a paramedic, helped us put her in a truck.
I see you still have the wristband on.
Yeah, I haven't cut it off yet. I don't know if I should or not.
My boss, he got hit in the back as he was fleeing with me. He was behind me. And then my friend got hit. He was in front of me, so I was kind of in between them. So my boss is definitely, I think he got a punctured lung. I think he took his spleen out and part of his colon.
He is out of ICU, which is pretty unbelievable. He suffered major internal injuries. Phil's brother says it was a string of chance events, including the shirt, similar to this one that he chose to wear that night. And that all helped him to survive.
One of the things that helped save Phil that night was the tight-fitting undershirt he chose to wear, coincidentally labeled Under Armour. It compressed his bleeding.
Yeah, doctor said that shirt was like a big part of him not bleeding terribly, bleeding out pretty much,
Sunday, Phil got to see his kids for the first time. He still has a bullet lodged in his lung. He lost his spleen and part of his colon.
That is just incredible, Susan Elizabeth. All right, thank you.
It went along my skull and came out about 3 inches later, and I felt it, and it was like spraying out. And so I held it, and we ran to another cover.
So where did it go?
It came right in the back, right in the center of my head, and it came out about 3 inches later along my skull.
We're like, it's just fireworks. So everybody goes back to dancing and singing and going along with the song, and then all of a sudden, you hear this as fast as it can come. 30, 40 rounds go down somewhere, and we don't know what it is. Everybody's just looking around like, what was that? 6 or 7 people are all laid out. Neck wounds, chest wounds, they're done. Almost like creeping up on you. And it feels like it's like hunting you down. You can hear them coming closer.
Santa Cruz County man is one of the lucky ones tonight. He was shot in the neck in Las Vegas. The bullet is still there tonight.
And it went through my ear and entered right behind my jaw and then traveled down to a few inches above my collarbone.
The bullet is still sitting inside Jeff Christensen's neck.
It was for just like a burning sensation, and I knew I got hit. It was just complete insanity. the entire time was just chaos.
Steve, we talked with a woman who was shot in the neck. She was at the concert right across from Mandalay Bay, the bullet coming within a hair of a vital artery. She struggles to tell us just how horrifying the ordeal was.
It still feels very surreal. It felt a lot like something that was certainly out of body. Pretty much mayhem.
Like so many concert goers that night, at first, Shock thought she was hearing fireworks.
People were dropping, just falling to the ground.
Shock and her family ran and found cover behind a bar.
It was a very hot feeling.
She didn't realize she was hit.
Took my hand away and I saw all the blood.
A bullet passed through her neck, landing in her cheek, just a hair from a vital part of her body.
My carotid artery.
Doctors repairing the damage, Shock thankful she's here to remember the people who didn't make it.
I was lucky and blessed. I'll always have a scar to tell me that it happened.
Jonathan Smith was shot in the neck as he saved more than a dozen people.
The bullet is still in his neck. Doctors say it's too risky to remove. He believes if it wasn't for an off-duty San Diego police officer who came to his rescue, he might not be here. He took this selfie from the hospital, but it's this picture taken by the Washington Post that's gone viral. The bullet is still in his neck. Doctors say it's too risky to remove. The only souvenirs he wants to keep is this concert bracelet still on his wrist and the one cowboy boot he didn't lose during the mayhem.
Everybody started running and the shots were louder and louder, and then the woman that was not too far from me to my right got shot in the chest. Get up and run! And cops were helping everybody, and so we got up and we were running, but there was nothing to go under. And I thought that there were gunmen in the crowd, so I thought that somebody was gonna come up behind me and like shoot me in the head. They got there really fast and they were just everybody was helping each other and laying on one another, and the cops were grabbing us. The one guy got me and he was like, come on, it's okay, just run as far as you can.
Dustin Burkhart, a country music DJ, and his wife Lori planned a trip to Las Vegas with a group of friends from Colorado.
I knew I was hit with something. It was horrible.
Dustin still has a bullet in his leg, but this husband and wife are grateful.
In spite of the bullet lodged in his leg, the off-duty Torrance assistant fire chief then grabbed 8 others and ran into the street. They piled into an Uber van. The bullet, he was told, will have to remain in his leg for life.
And as we were running with our backs to the Mandalay Bay, we could hear the rapid fire of the rifle coming right by us.
Seconds later, one bullet grazed his back and another hit him in the back of the lower leg. In spite of the bullet lodged in his leg, the off-duty Torrance assistant fire chief then grabbed 8 others and ran into the street. They piled into an Uber van that happened to be outside. He was just released. The bullet, he was told, will have to remain in his leg for life. He hopes every limp, every wince will remind him to be grateful for the life he almost lost.
I made it to where this metal trailer or something was there, and this off-duty policeman from California pulled me in, and he was just holding me there, and I kept saying, I have to get my friend, I have to get her, and he wouldn't let me go, and he helped me out of there.
So you two got separated?
Yes.
Do they plan to operate on your leg?
I don't know yet. I just have bullet fragments in my leg, so.
Just?
Well.
Yeah, just bullet fragments in your leg.
From Sandy Hook to the Aurora movie theater massacre to Orlando, the gay nightclub, now this.
When you got a lone person who wants to do anything, you could walk into a grocery store, stop with a bomb, and blow people up. Because when this was going on, we did not realize that there was just one shooter. We were told 30 shooters. The Bellagio was under attack. The Flamingo, we thought there was a bomb in the building. And when the SWAT team came into the foundation room with 100 of us there, and they're like, everybody get down, I actually ran out and hid behind a flower pot.
And I heard a popping sound. Thought it was fireworks. I looked up in the sky, didn't see anything. I was worried. Jason Aldean stopped singing. There was kind of a gap in his song. It was very surreal. But what's so surreal about this is I'm on the 24th floor of the Mandalay Bay. I have the exact view of this lunatic that killed everybody. And I was looking out that window this afternoon, and I said to myself, this looks so beautiful. They were all crying on the ground. I was trying to be calm. But at the moment, I thought of the Orlando shooting, because we were in this room
we didn't know where the shooter was. We thought he was just going to jump the fence and come in that room and shoot us all. So I didn't know whether that was the right decision. So I'm thinking, am I going to die like in this room?
When it was happening, we didn't know where the shooting was coming from, and we kept hearing there's 30 shooters on the ground, because that's how many rounds there were. It was just boom, 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 one after the other after the other. It never stopped. So, yeah, you're bringing me back to it.
Is it a matter of I could have done more?
It's on my iPhone. The greatest tragedy that's hit this country is on my iPhone that I took the video of.
Karen also helped a young woman who was grazed by one bullet. Another hit her cell phone.
All right, take a look at this incredible image that tells the story of survival. A Las Vegas taxi driver says this cell phone belongs to a woman he was driving away from the scene of the shooting. The phone was shattered by a bullet during the attack, but the woman was miraculously not hit.
I also showed him a picture of a cell phone that had a bullet, an Apple phone that had a bullet through it. And it was a therapist over at UMC. And that bullet went through her phone and hit her hand. She just had tissue damage. She fixed it herself.
No, that was fireworks. It's for the show. And it's literally, as soon as she said that, the spring started. It was pandemonium to get out.
He called his son, a Marine, to ask what he should do next.
Literally step-by-step instruction to get in my car, start the vehicle, and pull away.
As they were fleeing, Guerrero's car took gunfire from the shooter.
Literally, when we pulled into the stratosphere, I pulled into the handicapped parking spot and my tire went completely gone.
Bill Robinson's son, Bill, was at the concert with friends. Bill Sr. at home in Scottsdale. He has to ask whether his son's wallet may have saved his life. Doctors told the family bullets often splinter and fragment on impact. This one didn't. The bullet hit his son in the hip, the angle of it causing the round to lodge in Bill's wallet. He still has the bullet and the money he was carrying, now bloody.
He have a shot in his hand and one on his leg. And they actually said that the third one, he had like a steel key in the back, so that protected him from the bullet. That's, yeah, I know. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing we know. But he's good.
And your father was also wearing a bag on his back, and do you guys believe tonight that that might have been what saved him?
Yeah. So Eli's the president of the company, and her father, and he was at the front of the house taking pictures, and he thought he was fine. When he got in this morning, he realized that his frame was shattered in the back of his bag, and it was on his back the whole time. So. Absolutely saved his life.
That part of the camera was shattered.
The camera was shattered.
Both work for CSC, providing event security. Chandra seemingly bulletproof herself.
I have holes in my backpack from it being hit, but God willing, I didn't get hit.
A co-worker, 22-year-old Eric Silva, was hit. He died.
You know, we have to suck it up for everybody that's lost their friends and their families, you know.
Things are happening every day in the world. Our kids were in Barcelona this summer after things happened there, or before things happened there. It's very strange to be living this way.
One Metro Detroit woman whose father was injured in this massacre.
Now, can you say he worked as a custodian at that Mandalay Bay hotel?
He was shot while trying to help people find shelter.
I was scared for my dad because I knew he was working that night. He was picking up trash inside a bathroom, and he heard a bunch of screaming, firecrackers. It sounded like firecrackers to him. He said that there was bodies laying on the floor.
They were just ushering people into the doors. They're like, come on, get in, we gotta close the door, get in, we gotta close the doors, there's a shooter, we come in.
And he just saw people running away, and he saw a woman. He said he described that she was bleeding from head to toe. He was trying to get people inside the bathroom, and he noticed that he had blood on his arm, and he didn't know if it was his or someone else's. And then he noticed that it was coming from his arm. I never imagined something like that ever happening there.
That is just incredible, Susan Elizabeth. All right, thank you.
Not a lot, but it was not a full concert. It was not 22,000 people anymore.